The Real Madrid dressing room has long lived under a dangerous illusion that the name on the back of the shirt could outweigh the crest on the front.
Ido a comerse el césped. Y en el Madrid son estrellas sin hambre. Es lo que es la temporada. Y ha pagado los platos rotos a Ancelotti, que creo que es bueno para todos que venga un entrenador nuevo, con nuevas energías, bueno para el vestuario, incluso bueno para el propio Ancelotti.
For years, reputation guaranteed minutes and hierarchy suffocated merit. It was this culture that dragged Los Blancos from conquering Europe.
The royal rulers of football have reclaimed their throne. There's to be another coronation in London. Real Madrid are kings of Europe again. 15 times and counting, more than twice the tally of any other club.
To celebrating a lonely Supercopa as their only trophy in an entire season. And in a squad overflowing with Galacticos, Mbappe, Vinicius, Rodrigo, Bellingham, Valverde, Courtois, and many others. Risk has always been the same, egos eclipsing the institution. Vinicius Jr embodied it best, from a Ballon d'Or worthy year, scoring 24 goals and assisting 11 en route to the 15th Champions League. To a collapse that saw him argue with fans, clash with teammates, and become a shadow of himself once Mbappe arrived. He went from untouchable to disposable, and he was not alone. Bellingham dipped, Rudiger faltered, and youth talents like Arda Guler or Gonzalo Garcia were left on the sidelines.
Día del Real Madrid.
Bueno, yo estoy todos los días con los jóvenes, con Arda, con Hendrik, con todos los días. Todos los días le veo un día un poco más contento, un día un poco menos, pero esto es absolutamente normal. Yo no quiero ver a un jugador feliz cuando no juega. Quiero ver a un jugador que quiere jugar, que trabaja, que aprende, que quiere jugar.
That era is over.
Te quería preguntar por los chicos, no solo Franco, sino también Arda, Hendrik, que la temporada pasada estaban bajo una filosofía, digamos, de que tenían que chupar banquillo. Si tú vas a modificar algo en este sentido.
Son jugadores que después de un año les ha venido el proceso de adaptación al Madrid, pues todo lleva su tiempo, incluso a Luka. Yo recuerdo su primer año en el Madrid, pues que fue de menos a más. Y por el caso de Arda, de Hendrik, de estos chicos jóvenes que dan un paso tan grande, es un proceso natural. Y este segundo año seguro que van a ir entrando poco a poco más. Otros jugadores que están en esa fase también van a ayudar. Los chicos del Castilla que están viniendo también están aportando mucho. O sea que es un proceso natural.
Because Xabi Alonso's no ordinary coach. On the touchline, he doesn't sit, doesn't remain silent, doesn't let the match slip by. In only 5 games in charge of Real Madrid, ignoring the chaotic Club World Cup, he has already stamped his identity, intensity, order, ambition. Every gesture, every instruction, every demand reflects an obsession with control. And within that obsession, Alonso has identified silent enemies: ego, arrogance, indiscipline. Now he has sent his first warning loud and clear. At Real Madrid, not everyone plays, only the best will.
Es noticia que Vinicius sea en... ¿Cuántos partidos llevamos esta temporada? 4 de Liga y 1 de Champions. 5. En 5 partidos, 2 veces suplente es noticia. Y más teniendo en cuenta que Vinicius no ha hecho el viaje transoceánico para jugar con su selección porque le habían dado descanso también con Brasil. Son suplencias, o sea, la de hoy desde luego es una suplencia rara. Porque Vinicius no tiene una carga de minutos, no hay una necesidad imperiosa en este momento de derrotar a Vinicius. Y sin embargo es un mensaje de que Vinicius ha perdido la condición de indiscutible en las alineaciones para Xabi Alonso.
Intocable, sí.
De intocable. Es evidente que esta política de Xabi Alonso a Vinicius no le debe estar gustando mucho.
And those who fall into complacency, theatrics or unnecessary expulsions will discover the scary truth. Xabi Alonso will not hesitate to bench even the biggest star. This is no longer a team ruled by egos. This is his Madrid. The biggest transformation at Real Madrid, and the reason they suddenly look capable of winning it all, is simple. For the first time in years, there is only one boss, and he doesn't wear a shirt, he sits on the bench. That is the true revolution of Xabi Alonso.
Yo la experiencia que tenía como jugador cuando estábamos con Cristiano, Karim, son jugadores muy ambiciosos, ¿no? Y entonces tienes que saber tocar las teclas correctas, tienes que saber mantener esa ambición que tienen, son muy profesionales, siempre quieren lo mejor, y es acompañar y es guiarles bien para que mantengamos eso, dentro de lo que es el espíritu de equipo, dentro de lo que es una idea de equipo, pero bueno,
He has broken with the old tradition of protecting names and reputations, and has made it crystal clear that there is only one untouchable in this squad, Kylian Mbappe.
Tiene que mirar y hacia quién tiene que seguir, y Kylian sin duda es uno de ellos.
The Frenchman has earned the right to lead Los Blancos, and Alonso has backed him to the end.
Mbappé ya es Mbappé con todas las letras, o sea, porque a lo mejor el año pasado le faltaba la E final, ¿sabes? O sea, ahora ya es Mbappé con todas las letras. Las arrancadas, la potencia, o sea, la voracidad, decisión, lo tiene todo.
But beyond Mbappe, the rule is ruthless. Play well or sit down, whether your name is Vinicius, Mastantuono or Bellingham. This shift has injected something priceless into the squad, genuine competition, especially in the front line, the positions that decide trophies. Now, players must keep their levels sky high if they want to survive in Alonso's starting 11. Gone are the days of laziness on the biggest stages. Remember last season's Champions League embarrassment against Arsenal, when Madrid simply refused to run until it was too late. That culture has vanished.
Xabi Alonso tomando notitas. Y no creo que Xabi Alonso no haya tenido personalidad. Ayer a Vinicius se sienta en el minuto 62, creo. Sí. Ojo, ya en el minuto 62 ya le tienes que sentar. A Mbappé le podría haber puesto contra el Dortmund y estaba en el banquillo. O sea, yo creo que Xabi Alonso tiene personalidad. Y a partir de agosto no se va a morder la lengua. El que curre, juega. El que no, al banquillo. Tal cual, va a ser así.
Today, Xabi Alonso's Madrid press from the first whistle. The numbers prove it. They are the third best team in La Liga for high recoveries in the final third, even ahead of Barcelona. The change hasn't spared anyone. Vinicius, after 4 years without losing his place, has finally been sent to the bench for pressing only in bursts. Mbappe, meanwhile, sets the tone with relentless effort, so much so that Spanish media circulate clips comparing his intensity to Ousmane Dembele's legendary pressing display in a Champions League final. That is why Alonso trusts him blindly, why he has become his battlefield general. And all of this comes down to a cultural reset. Alonso doesn't care about nationality, salaries, or reputations. Hierarchy now belongs to those who earn it. And if you think that's scary, wait until you see how it looks in detail. This summer was never going to be ordinary for Real Madrid. The end of Carlo Ancelotti's era, the most decorated coach in the club's history, meant change was unavoidable, and Xabi Alonso arrived not just with fresh ideas, but with a mandate to rebuild the culture of the team. At first, the doubts were real. The Club World Cup exit felt like a painful hangover of the previous cycle, as if the squad hadn't yet digested what was to come. But in just a month of work, Alonso has silenced skeptics. His Madrid has won every official match so far, shown teeth in attack, resilience in defence, and a newfound capacity to suffer without breaking. Already you can see the outlines of a team with an identity committed, hungry and willing to run for the badge. The difference begins with names and roles. 5 new regulars, Huijsen, Carrera, Guler, Trent and Brahim, have redefined the starting 11, while Mastantuono, Carvajal and Gonzalo add rotation that refreshes the squad. But it's not just about personnel, it's about intensity. Alonso has demanded a new standard, 11 kilometers run per player per match. Federico Valverde leads the way, but Carreras, Mastantuono, Brahim and Carvajal have all matched that level. Running is no longer optional, it's culture. Even compared to Ancelotti's last season, the jump is clear. The average distance covered has climbed from around 10.6 to 11.0 kilometers. The second revolution is in recovery. Alonso's Madrid steals the ball on average 17 times per match, 1 every 5 minutes. And considering that for most of those 5 minutes Madrid dominates possession, it means that the rare moments without the ball are immediately followed by suffocating pressure. It's a non-negotiable. Recover high, recover fast, and break the opponent's rhythm before they can breathe. The defensive system bleeds less, the backline works with greater calm, and with Huijsen, Carreras, Carvajal, and Militao stepping up, Madrid feels almost unbreakable. The mentality shift is embodied by Kylian Mbappe. Once labelled a luxury attacker, he now leads the press as the team's first defender. From the moment the opponent restarts play, Mbappe hunts and the rest follow. Against Marseille, he nearly stole 2 goals directly from goalkeeper Rulli. Against Real Sociedad, his pressure earned him the chance that sealed the win.
Atrás Zubeldia, cuidado, corre Mbappé, va a Kylian y no lo pueden parar, se escapa Mbappé y será gol de Mbappé, claro, sí, gol. ¡Gol! Del Real Madrid, le quedó la pelota al 10, sí, un 10 en todo, en corrida, en definición.
It's a transformation of roles this Madrid suffocates high, wins the ball and creates chances in seconds. Of course, pressing high has a trade-off. Madrid now attack from more advanced positions, often congested with both white shirts and rivals. The answer? Even quicker circulation, sharper precision and faster tempo. The result has been a barrage of chances, though the finishing touch still needs polish. But the direction is unmistakable. Xabi Alonso has created a Madrid that runs harder, defends higher and attacks with more speed than ever. It's no longer about living off reputations, it's about proving every 90 minutes that the badge comes first. And right now, his Madrid is proving it 5 wins out of 5. The first name on the list of players who should feel uneasy under Xabi Alonso is Vinicius Jr.
Viene de un año muy malo. El último de Ancelotti ha sido seguramente el peor año de Vinicius. Después de haber tenido 2 temporadas donde fue la estrella del Real Madrid en las Champions y en la Liga y tal, Vinicius era el jugador más desequilibrante del mundo. Pero en la última temporada Vinicius ha tenido un papel irrelevante en el Madrid. Pero es verdad que Ancelotti ni aún así le sentaba. Pero viene de un año malo.
His status at Real Madrid has shifted dramatically in just a matter of weeks. Once untouchable under Carlo Ancelotti, he is now very much under scrutiny, and the numbers don't lie. Vini has played 11 official matches with Alonso in charge. He started 9, but only managed to finish 1. In the other 8, he was subbed off in the second half. Even more telling, against Real Oviedo in La Liga and Olympique Marseille in the Champions League, he was dropped to the bench altogether, by pure tactical choice, not injury. That was unthinkable a season ago.
Va a haber un momento para todos. Nadie va a jugar todos los partidos, nadie tiene que sentirse ofendido por no jugar un partido. Necesitamos a todos.
This trend has not gone unnoticed in the players' camp. The problem is structural. When Vinicius and Mbappe share the pitch, the Frenchman's influence often drops. When Mbappe plays without him, he explodes scoring freely and dominating games. That dynamic has tilted the scales. In Alonso's Madrid, there is no room for egos, only efficiency. Even so, Vini has tried to answer. As a substitute against Oviedo, he delivered a goal and an assist in just 27 minutes. But in the following fixtures, his minutes steadily declined: 72 against Mallorca, 68 against Real Sociedad. At the same time, Rodrigo has openly told Alonso he wants to compete for the left side of the attack, directly challenging his Brazil teammate. Performance-wise, Vinicius hasn't been disastrous. 2 goals and 1 assist in 272 minutes this season is still respectable. But stars of his calibre aren't measured by raw numbers, they are judged by titles. And last season, after once carrying Madrid to Champions League glory, his drop in intensity, his constant arguments, and his refusal to press saw him stripped of his leader status and overshadowed by Mbappe. This is the crux of his problem. Under Xabi Alonso, there is no immunity. The rule is simple: if you don't run, you don't play. Vini is adored by fans, yes. He even reached the pinnacle of his career in 2024 with the Best Award and a Champions League campaign for the ages. Everyone remembers when he tore Barcelona apart on his own. Or when he became the unstoppable force behind Madrid's 15th European crown. And that's exactly the version Xabi wants to recover. The fearless, decisive Vinicius who made history, not the distracted, ego-driven shadow we've seen since. For Alonso, the choice is clear. Either Vini finds that fire again, or he risks being just another name in the rotation. Jude Bellingham is another player finding himself in a situation similar to Vinicius. The Englishman arrived in Madrid and delivered one of the greatest debut seasons ever seen at the club. In 2023/24, he was untouchable, scoring 23 goals and adding 13 assists in just 43 matches. While being absolutely decisive in Real Madrid's triumphs in La Liga, the Champions League and the Spanish Super Cup. He looks destined to become not only the face of Madrid, but one of the leaders of European football's new era. But what followed was a painful dip. The 2024/25 campaign brought no trophies to Madrid and a clear decline in Bellingham's influence. His numbers dropped to 13 goals, and 14 assists still strong, but nowhere near the explosiveness of his first year. Madrid's leadership, already uneasy with the direction of the team, began to ask questions. Several meetings took place to understand why their generational signing was fading. Even Carlo Ancelotti personally spoke with him, trying to uncover whether off-field distractions were impacting his game. The reality was more complex. Bellingham was pushed into deeper positions, asked to cover more defensive ground, and coupled with a shoulder injury that eventually required surgery after the Club World Cup, his offensive output inevitably suffered. The Englishman has since returned, hungry to prove himself again, but in Xabi Alonso's Madrid, past glories count for little. He will have to earn his way back.
Yo creo que Jude casi cualquier sitio puede ser especial porque él es un jugador especial, ¿no? Y sí que lo conozco cuando llega a Alemania, él estaba en Dortmund. Y la irrupción que tuvo el año pasado y este año pues es de jugador de época, ¿no? Para Real Madrid, ¿no? Creo que tiene 21 años ahora, no sé, 21 años, y es un jugador que va a ser fundamental para los siguientes proyectos.
The problem for Jude is that while he was sidelined, the midfield has found a new heartbeat, Arda Guler. Alonso has not hesitated for a second to build around the young Turk, pairing him with Tchouaméni and Valverde to form a midfield full of energy, balance and creativity. Guler has thrived as a proper number 10, operating like a modernised Toni Kroos, dictating tempo and orchestrating play. His numbers are extraordinary, among the leaders in touches and passes per 90 minutes across La Liga, and one of the top three players for key passes in all of Europe's top 5 leagues. Even more dangerous is his chemistry with Kylian Mbappe. Every movement, every combination seems rehearsed, like Ronaldo and Ozil a decade ago. Marca has already described their connection as a growing synergy that could elevate Madrid to another level, and the evidence is there. Assists exchanged, decisive plays, and a fluidity that makes them one of Europe's deadliest duos. That leaves Bellingham with a challenge. At just 22, he is still destined for greatness, and Alonso will demand he rises to it. But in this Madrid, competition is relentless, and with Guler setting new standards, Jude must prove he can once again be the man who led Madrid to European glory, because reputation alone will not guarantee him a place in Xabi Alonso's 11. Jude Bellingham and Vinicius Jr are learning the hard way that in Xabi Alonso's Madrid, nothing is guaranteed. Not even for the brightest of stars. Yet the Englishman, in particular, still has a golden chance to fight back. His return to the squad for the Champions League clash against Marseille came weeks earlier than planned following shoulder surgery, a sign of both his determination and the club's faith in him. Spanish outlets continue to stress that Alonso considers Bellingham untouchable in the long run, but even so, someone will have to step aside. The tactical blueprint suggests that with Jude back, the right wing could be sacrificed, Guler would be shifted nominally to that zone, but operate deeper, recreating something akin to Ancelotti's diamond midfield from 2023/24, with Vinicius and Mbappe leading the line. For Jude and Vinny, that means no shortcuts. They must run, fight and show their worth every week if they want to secure a future as starters. The contrast is brutal when compared with others who have lost their footing entirely. Antonio Rudiger and David Alaba, both injury-prone and inconsistent, are now reduced to backup roles. Rumours suggest both could be on their way out by the summer, with Ibrahima Konate already being watched closely. Raúl Asensio has also fallen out of favour since the Club World Cup, registering only 23 minutes in La Liga and featuring against Marseille merely because of Dani Carvajal's red card. These are the casualties of Alonso's uncompromising new order. Players once seen as immovable pillars now find themselves expendable. But where there are shadows, there is light. Xabi's great virtue has been to ignore big names and reputations, instead placing his trust in newcomers and hungry youngsters. Dean Huijsen and Alvaro Carreras, expected to be starters from day one, have delivered, while Trent has shared time effectively with Carvajal. Yet the revelation is Franco Mastantuono. The Argentine has landed at the Bernabeu with an authority far beyond his years, combining well, showing vision, defending with intensity, and displaying a natural flair. The only thing missing is a goal, but even without it, Alonso knows he has a diamond in the rough. A player who can define matches in the years to come. This policy of trust gives hope to others too. Gonzalo Garcia, even if he cannot compete directly with Mbappe, will surely get his chances. Endrick, once he returns from injury, is also expected to receive far more minutes than under Ancelotti. And above all, Alonso rewards those who rise to the occasion. No one exemplifies this better than Aurélien Tchouaméni. Once questioned and doubted, the Frenchman has become indispensable. In Alonso's high-pressing, high-line system, his role is vital, plugging gaps, sweeping up danger, and correcting mistakes before they spiral. He may often go unnoticed, but he has not missed a single minute under Alonso, proof of his transformation into a cornerstone of the project. Yet the ultimate winner in this revolution is Kylian Mbappe. The Frenchman has not only embraced the responsibility, but thrived on it. In his first 5 games, he has already scored 6 goals and provided an assist, accounting for 60% of Madrid's total. Every touch of the ball carries the scent of danger. Every run feels decisive. He has become the undisputed star, not because of his name, but because of his production and commitment. Xabi Alonso has handed him the keys, and Mbappe has responded by delivering performances of the highest level, giving Madrid not just a striker, but a leader who can make them dream of conquering everything. As we said at the beginning of the video, Xabi Alonso has never been the type to let things slip through his fingers. Not as a player, and certainly not now as a manager. In just 5 official matches, he has already built a Madrid that looks intense, organised and ambitious, but along the way, he has also exposed a final hidden enemy, the careless red cards that can derail the progress of an entire group. For Alonso, every minute counts, every duel matters, and he has made it clear to his players that unnecessary expulsions are a line they cannot cross. The examples are raw reminders. Dean Huijsen, barely settling into life as a Real Madrid player, has already picked up 2 red cards that left scars on the team.
And there's a red card shown.
In the Club World Cup against Dortmund, a last-man foul at the death denied Madrid the chance to fight PSG in the semi-finals. A month later, against Real Sociedad, another lapse, a handball that Courtois described bluntly as unnecessary, condemned his teammates again. Youth and inexperience can be excuses, but lessons must be learned quickly at the Bernabeu. Then came Raúl Asensio's moment of regret. 7 minutes on the pitch against Pachuca, 1 desperate lunge, and Madrid were playing 80 minutes with 10 men.
Dice el árbitro, venga para acá Raúl, me lo van a pintar. ¡Oh, se va del partido! ¡Se va del partido!
As Courtois summed up afterwards, sometimes it is better to concede a goal than to condemn the entire team to an uphill battle. Xabi Alonso doesn't humiliate his players in public, but in private he is relentless in demanding focus and discipline. With injuries already affecting Rudiger and Trent, and suspensions removing options like Huijsen and Carvajal, every red card multiplies the strain on Madrid's depth chart. This is why Alonso has sounded the alarm, not as a punishment, but as a reminder that this Madrid cannot afford to sabotage itself. The optimism, energy and excitement of his early reign are real, but they will only last if his players heed the warning. In his Madrid, there is no room for ego, indiscipline, or avoidable mistakes. It is the first stern message of his tenure, and perhaps the most important: greatness demands control. And in this new Madrid, discipline is not optional, it is the foundation of everything.